Call to order an organizational meeting for the city of Riodolfo Downs on this, the 16th day of January, 2026. Before we move any further forward, I'd like to just kind of start off with a statement. We on this whole mountain have been through it in the last several years. We've had fire and we've had floods and we've lost people. Some of our people have lost everything they own. We've had struggles within the city. We've been evacuated. I mean, this has been an unprecedented level of pain, I guess. And so I think it's time that we move forward together as a group and kind of start healing from some of those pains. I think we can do this together. And so I've asked for a gentleman to come up and give us an invocation and a blessing. I think there's nothing wrong with getting a little blessings,
Yes.
So, Jimmy Carroll, if you would, please.
There may be people in this room who don't believe in God. There may be people in this room who don't respect the authority or power of God, but I, for one, I believe that my God is my creator, and I try very hard to respect and honor him, although I fall short and I falter every day. If there are some who don't believe in God, they still believe in morality, and they still believe in the legality and the procedures of civilization. And so if you'll give me a moment, I have just a couple words to give you, and then I'll close my presence in a prayer. In the book of Daniel, 5th chapter, we're told a story about a king. His name was Belshazzar. He came from a righteous king, one who followed God, and yet he didn't. He took utensils and equipment from the temple of God, utensils and equipment that were ordained and anointed to be used in the service of God, and were holy. And he used them to throw a party in his palace. During that party, he saw a hand appear from nowhere, and that hand wrote on the wall the following words. It wrote Mene Tekel Upharsin, which is Aramaic, and it loosely translates to "You've been weighed against the standard of weights. You've been valued against the standard of values. Your righteousness has been judged against the standard of righteousness. And you've fallen short in every aspect." That very night, God took that king's life because he took the authority that God granted to him and he threw it back in God's face. We all have duties and responsibilities. And it is with that in mind that I'd like to go to God in prayer and with my beliefs, and at the request of Mr. Scott, I believe that I'll try to do just that now. If you will, please pray with me. Heavenly Father, our humble approach to you, Creator. As this administration begins, Father, I ask that you would guide the decisions of all those in positions of leadership. I ask, Father, that their direction might tend towards your will. Father, I ask that you would protect their integrity. You would help them, Father, to hold on to truth and true justice. I ask, Father, that you might help them to lean towards righteousness in their decisions, that they might lean towards compassion in their guidance and leadership. Father, grant them strength as they lead and protect and guide their citizens. And Father, let your light be a beacon through their actions. Father, help them to lean, trust in you. Father, I ask that you would create for yourself here a revival of righteousness, a revival of peace. Father, that you would create a revival of unity in this group, and and a revival of community. Because that's what leaders are here for, Father, to guide and to lead the people towards righteousness in every aspect. Father, grant these leaders wisdom. And Father, I ask that in the name of the Son of the Most High God, Jesus Christ, be proclaimed throughout this community as their Savior, as He is mine. And in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, sir. Would please stand and,
I pledge
allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, folks, I'm gonna mess this up more times than not. This. So here. Next, get a roll call, please.
Counselor Gutierrez. Here. Counselor Taylor.
Here.
Counselor Lacewell. Here. Counselor Proctor.
Here.
There you go.
I would ask for, or entertain a motion to approve the agenda. However, I would ask that, we move item H, which is under new business, up to the first item so that, our gentleman from the village can not have to sit through our whole meeting. It's a little bit of a break.
I move that we approve the agenda with the movement of letter H to letter A. And we
Can I get a second?
the second,
Motion and a second.
Counselor Taylor.
Aye.
Counselor Proctor.
Aye.
Counselor Lacewell.
Aye.
Counselor Gutierrez.
I
Carries. I would also entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
will move to approve the consent agenda, the approval of the governing body event for December 8th and December 26th, 2025.
Second that. Yes.
Counselor Lacewell.
Aye.
Counselor Proctor.
Aye.
Counselor Taylor.
Aye.
Counselor Gutierrez.
Aye.
Next item will be public comments. Is there anybody in the public that would like to come forward? Yeah. Mr. Williams, if you would, please give us your name and your address and address the governing body as a whole.
My name is Wayne Williams. I live in Spaghetti Flats.
Williams,
Most everybody knows me as a highly opinionated person. But I've been raised my whole life to, and oh, by the way, welcome to the new regime. That's what I can mainly say. But I've been taught my whole life that to be a good citizen, you must stay informed as to what your city's doing, let alone your federal government. And keep your ear to what, to the wall or whatever you want to call it. Everybody has their upbringing to fall back on. But that was my bad all these years. That was my bad. Because there's a better way. Yeah, I had to reach further back in my upbringing to get it. But it says in the Bible that you should pray for your leaders and support your leaders. So when I get home tonight, I'm gonna pray real hard for every single one of you, that you don't become part of the problem, that you become part of the solving the problem. And I'm gonna work just as hard as you guys do praying for you. We won't see me down here again. Unless it's something really bad. So if you see me down here again, you know, the little blaze around my head will be fired up. So anyway, God bless you all. And congratulations on your new job.
Thank you.
Need all prayers with you, sir. Whatever.
We all.
Anyone else from the public wish to speak? Okay, moving on, the next would be the councilor's comments. Councilor, do you have anything to spread that?
I think we'd like to see you up here when we're doing when we're doing good. When we're doing bad, we'll see you up here too.
Like you were here from me if you're doing bad.
When you're doing good, I'm doing good too.
Tell the man upstairs if you're doing bad.
I'd like to welcome the new counselors and, my philosophy in being setting up here is we work for the people sitting out there. And that being said, we have to do what we do, we have to do it the best we can to oversee everything in this community, not just one little area. And we're here to support that. So I've talked to other employees and stuff. I used to work for the city. Everybody knows that. I leave everything on this table when I leave this chambers. I don't take it with me. I don't take it home with me. And I try to leave it alone when I'm not here. Unless I'm talking with the public works director, the chief of police, or the fire department. I do get in, I do go over there and I talk with all of them. Other than that, it's not a whipping post. Okay, we don't need to keep bringing things up and over and over again. It is what it is. You say it one time, leave it alone. If they don't get it, they'll ask you about it. That's the way I look at it. If I can help anyone here, I'll do my utmost to give you the honest truth. Because there's two things you can't take away from me. That's my integrity and my honor. I will not put them on the line, and you can't take it away from me. And that's the way I feel about each one of these councilors up here and under mayor. I think all of them have good qualities, good integrity, and good faith in what we're doing here.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Williams, if you're not coming to the meetings, I might have to come to your house, because I do like singing. I'd like to welcome our new councilors in here. I am excited and optimistic about what's going to happen in the next 2 years. And thank you to everyone who's here in the room today.
Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
awesome. So I am new and I'm the least experienced, you could say. But I appreciate everybody that's here, everybody that will continue to come, Mr. Williams. And everybody that's online. I know some people like to watch from home. I'm hopeful that we can move forward and do some good work for everybody that is in the community. And if you have any questions or concerns, the door is open always. Thank you.
I don't have much to say at this point. We'll see how it has.
Okay, well, thank you, councilors. There's comments. I kind of want to do things a little different. I want to be as transparent as we can. I want to kind of let you know what's going on in my little world. And so what I intend to do, and we'll see how it works. If you don't want to listen to me, we'll think something different, but I want to bring to you at this point, you know, the meetings that I've gone to, or the committees that I'm on, or the whatever it happens to be, that is the business of the city. I think the more that you guys I can bring to you, the more you're going to be able to understand what's going on and know what we're actually doing for you. I don't know that that's been as clear as it should have been in the past.
Yeah.
And Ms. Gutierrez said she's hopeful that we can do good work. I'm confident that we can. We are best city that I've lived in and worked in forever. I full confidence in all of the employees. Do exceptional work. They work so well together that it's something that I mention as often as I can because I'm proud of them. I think we have some struggles ahead of us. Obviously, we all do. But as a group from this point forward, it's us and we need to start moving forward. So to begin that, this week, the new counselors and myself attended training in Santa Fe for 3 days. Yay.
So whether it's nice.
It was nice. Santa Fe hasn't changed. Although I don't think I've ever seen it in the off season. There's a few less people, which is kind of nice, but we received a ton of information about what it takes to do this job. My head still hurts. It's gonna take me a while to absorb it and to go back over the notes and figure out what exactly they meant. But it was a great opportunity to network and to talk to other people who are in the same boat, as well as ones that have years and years of experience. So That was a great opportunity. There's more to come as far as us learning for sure. And please just have patience. A lot of us new at this. So we're gonna stumble and stutter a little bit, but, I'm confident that we've got what it takes to start moving forward and to start doing things the right way. So that's what I have to say. Okay, so moving on to new business, and if we could, Drew, if you would come up and present for us.
Good evening, it's a Friday evening and Mayor and Council, it's great to be here on Long Sound, the village man for Rio Doso and. It's great to be here, I think you're gonna, we're here to support also Rio Doso Downs, if you guys need anything, just at any time. Just give us a call and we're there, or, we work with your staff already and. No, your attorney, we heard I worked on franchise doing this together, so no good attorney, so. We'll always, whatever we can do. I'm gonna have Chief Hall on this MOU between the fire department. This document was drafted by the New Mexico Municipal League. Their attorney, Paul Kipper, and along with Zach Cook, so I'll have. You guys have any questions on it, but I will have Chief Hall here to explain any of the version and stuff. But thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Sun.
I'm Chief Hall, Chief of the Fire Department. So
Thanks for coming.
So just here to basically have an MOU built with you guys that we were all on the same page and we know what each other needs and we know particularly on how to get it.
Sure.
So do you guys have any questions? We already went over the.
I would like to see the contacts amended so that the appropriate year is on this
I
document.
believe that has been done, that version was signed prior to,
Oh, okay.
so,
Good.
the appropriate documentation has been.
That's all good. You have any other questions about the MOU or what's been presented?
Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
I move that we adopt the MOU with Village of Mendoza.
I'll second.
Counselor Proctor,
Aye.
Counselor Gutierrez. Aye. Counselor Lacewell.
Aye.
Counselor Taylor.
Thank you very much. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to item now.
Eight.
So say, okay, so item A, election of mayor pro tem.
Mayor, council members, I'd like to make a motion, nominate Terrence Proctor for the position of mayor pro tem.
Second. Ask you if I have a second, if not, he's nominated himself.
I'll second.
Thanks. Motion in a second.
Are there any nominations that we accept
Other
further?
nominations?
You can vote now or take additional nominations, but voting now clears the table for a second nomination.
That'll be up. One at a time or, yeah, sure, how do we want to do it? I think one at a time makes it cleaner for minutes purposes, if nothing else.
Yes.
You good with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Roll call.
Yes, ma'am.
Counselor Proctor,
Aye.
Counselor Gutierrez. Yes. Counselor Taylor,
Aye.
Counselor Lacewell.
No.
Well, sorry, but you were the new pro tem. Thank you. So moving on, don't ever get old, this is. Approval to appoint interim city attorney. I would nominate Ms. Nan Winters to remain in the position at this point. She is knowledgeable of things that are in the works right now and I believe that and being that having knowledge in the middle of things. So that would be my nomination.
I'd like to make a motion to approve of the city clerk, Mrs. Manley, as our city attorney. In the authority division.
Wait a second.
Is this where we discuss or? Which is second. Okay, I will second.
Open it for discussion.
Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I would like a little bit of Miss Winter's background for the record.
Ms. Winters.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor, for the vote of confidence. Mayor, Counselor, I have been practicing law for 36 years. I was a board certified local government attorney for a decade. That program doesn't exist anymore, but that was a pretty rigorous process. I am in a firm dedicated to local government service. We represent probably 20 or 30 municipalities, another half dozen counties, tribe, public improvement districts, mutual domestics. And we again specialize in local government work almost exclusively. So I'm fluent in OMA, Open Meetings Act, Inspection of Public Records Act. I probably draft 3 or 4 resolutions and ordinances a week. And like I said, I've been doing this for 36 years. Sort of cut my teeth as in-house deputy city attorney for the city of Albuquerque. And am now president of a 11-12 person law group. That help?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Do you have another question? We're looking at interim city attorney. What would be the projected amount of time that we have an intern?
So I don't know exactly. I don't think it's a big, long period of time simply because the things that are being placed in motion are probably not going to drag out for that long. At which point she's under contract through the municipal, correct?
Under contract through the municipal.
Okay. So at the point where we're up and running and doing things, we can put an RFP out and reach work in. I would think, I don't know, a couple months, something like that. That's
Ms. Winters, do you, I have another question.
Sure.
Would you be, applying for the RFP, putting out for that?
Mayor, Counselor?
Is that,
Yes.
so my question is, would you be helping us draft it as well as being able to?
Mayor, Counselor, the procurement laws preclude me from helping you draft it unless I bid on it. If I plan on bidding on it.
Okay.
So, you do have a template on file?
Mhm.
So we wouldn't need a lot of guidance, I don't think.
Okay.
If you issued it, as of today, I would probably bid on that. If you'd asked me 4 months ago, my answer might have been different.
I have a question. So if we do not approve Ms. Winters, where do we stand?
So correct me if I'm wrong, as it stands now, if she is not approved, she remains in that position until, I guess we do an RFP, right? So,
Right.
she would remain where she's at until we can get the RFP. Basically all we would do, instead of doing it in 2 months, we do it now, as far as the RFP.
Okay,
And then we'd have to go through that process and select someone.
and so if she is selected tonight, then she stays on as long as we don't turn you off.
Mayor, Counselor, as long as you don't run me off, yeah. I mean, I would not leave. If you in a position where you didn't have legal counsel, and that was. Originally my assignment from NMSIF was to be here as long as you needed me. And chose a different path or not. But I would never. Abandon you without legal counsel.
Appreciate that. The point that's come up is that you covered a lot of bases
and maybe spread a little thin at times. I've seen you since you've been here, you seem to be taking care of things, but. it's always nice to have people person. That's good practice, that's on that, so. Yeah. Go ahead, this one.
I have a question here too, so the contract that we set up with the municipal league that you're here, under their appointment, so to speak. When we move you into an interim position now, do you become part of our payroll instead of, it still stays with their, you know?
Mayor, Counselor, so NMSIF offers lines of coverage, right, risk management. And they have a new business, which is called general counsel. So your insurance policy pays me. I do not get a check from Russell Downs. I get a check from New Mexico Self-Insurance. And your appointment today does not change that at all.
Is your question? Okay. Yes, sir.
My thoughts on this for Ms. Winters is that, she came here when we was in dire straits. And once she came on board, we started getting things done legally, the legal way, the right way. We got things done quick. We started getting us back in gear. Now we've got a new mayor, 2 new councilors. And we have an attorney that's been with us since, probably, I think, August. Right at August. So that being said, this attorney knows our weak points, our good points, and our bad points. So the best way I can explain this, why would you want to take someone that's experienced in what we're trying to do and the way we're trying to do it? Want to put someone that have to pick up what our rules and regulations are, why the way we work, what we have important first. And all we're asking now is for that person to be the interim until we can get our RFP out for an attorney. And if this attorney throws her hat in the ring and it comes back before us to hire her under contract, then that will release her from the New Mexico self-insurance thing. It would release her from the interim, and she would be our attorney for as long as the contract ran, for as long as it was approved for. So that being said, I would recommend that we keep someone that understands what we're trying to do and understands our laws, our ordinances and things of that nature. Thank you, Mayor Orvis.
Is there,
Roll call would be the,
I was gonna say,
Counselor Gutierrez,
Aye.
Counselor Lacework,
Aye.
Counselor Proctor,
Aye.
Counselor Taylor.
Aye.
Motion.
thank you.
it's fine. The next is approval to appoint the chief of police. Did we get the letter to everybody? Okay. Received a letter yesterday, late afternoon, when I got back from Santa Fe. Chief Commander is not intending to stay for, he's got 2 more years and then he's done. I've had discussions with him and he still has value to us for sure, but I'd like to have a chief in that position that can look on the short term. I want to be able to bring things forward long term. And so I do not intend to put chief commander forward. I do have a person that I want to put forward, and most of you already know. His name is Mark Hargrove. He was a chief here 1920,
17, 18.
17, 18. Okay. And so he's aware of the community. Pretty much everybody knows him. He did a phenomenal job for us when he was here. Unfortunately starved out at that point, but his circumstances have changed a little bit since then. So he is the person that I would nominate to the position of chief of police. So, any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Mayor, I move that we approve the appointment of Mr. Harlow to position of chief of police.
Wait a second.
Second,
Wait a second. So opening for discussion? Yes, sir.
just let the citizens know, the rest of the council know, and the, mayor, excuse me, mayor. I'm not used to inviting the mayor into my discussions, so. I met Mr. Hargrove down my home, and we talked for an hour and a half. And I asked questions that, I guess maybe should have been asked, he answered them. He didn't get upset over it, we had a good discussion. Been in law enforcement for a long, long time. He has a lot of background things, and there's I wanna call it command and administration force. That only about 1/10 to 1/15 of the cops in the United States get invited. You don't write a letter to them, go to it, you have to be invited. They go to this school. And when they come out of it, their knowledge is way beyond a 2-week school that someone might go and spend with the FBI. That's just, I don't know what that one's about. I do understand command staff and administration. And, we have the fortunate, two people just graduated that, the Chief Hargrove gets to come in to our city as a chief again, and that's our mayor. Has been invited to that same school or that same course. That says a lot for these two men, and it's very commendable. We need a good, strong leader in our police department. And I think Chief Hargrove would be a very good asset in that position. Thank you.
You want us?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
can we ask questions?
Certainly. I'm starting. Don't sit there, sir.
Let Mr. Hargrove do the mayor, we talked about it an hour and a half, that's all I'm in contact with, as far as I know. I do not come from law enforcement, I've, very little, if anyone in my family, no one close to my family was victim in law enforcement, so I'm not familiar with it. In terms of, you know, how it all functions, kind of like coming into this position. But, you know, you make it work. That being said, I guess, what concerns me and what I want to hear from you is kind of your vision. If you're gonna be here for a while, what are you looking to do for this department in the city? And how long do you plan on staying with this department in this city?
Well, to answer your question, moving forward, I want to continue what Chief Commander has started, but think it's better. As far as how long I stay, hopefully 10 years.
But, you know, as the mayor brought up, you know, that long term, gives you a lot more room to decide what and how you want to do it. You know, so, in your position, Court, you know, it gives you a better idea of how to go about things. Anyone else got some questions in that line?
I think, Mr. Hargrove, for the community that is here and online and possibly that will see this in the future, do you mind giving us a little bit of a recap?
No matter
Where you started and how you got here?
where I started was at the Hobbs Police Department in 1989. I was 19 years old, being black bullets. Spent 6 years there, then over 20 at the Lee County Sheriff's Office where I was the elected sheriff when I retired. From there, my brother-in-law taught me into going to the law field. Never again. And then I was fortunate to come here. I had a family with 2 small girls in Hobbs. And the place up here, you don't know how that is. So the mayor moved it starved me out. And I had to be with my family. Now they're older. One goes to Texas Tech, the other's in 9th grade, and they live with their mom and love. So after that, I went to Haven PD, where I was the deputy chief. From there, I spent 4.5 years. I know this isn't popular, but I was vice president at the racetrack. And then I was honestly furloughed and had several conversations with the mayor and with you all, almost. And then, law enforcement, I have over 31 years of experience. Been to the National Academy. This is my training file. Anybody wants to look at it, I always got a copy. So, that's about it.
I do have some thought. So, based on your experience, what would you say would be our strongest suit for the gentleman out here in the back? One's in the suits, the one's on the street. And what is our weakest link that you see? Because we have had some turnover, I'm sure you know.
Right.
But for me, they are here now. They are important to me, to the community. They're the ones that are here doing the hard work right now. How are you going to come into their space? Because as much as that space would be yours, you're also coming into their space, and how is that going to affect them and vice versa? I would like to know that, because the community will be affected, obviously.
No, the strength is your personnel. And the vision moving forward would be to use my training and knowledge and to teach them how to be leaders in the future. Did I answer all of it?
Yeah, I think so. You think you can get them to the academy that you two were prestigiously there?
If we do things right, we can nominate people.
I think thank you.
Any further questions?
I don't know that it's a question, but I would like to point something out.
Certainly.
We're going into things from that position, in terms of where the city leadership's been the last few years. And some of the things that have come about, not just the last few councils, but just the history in Ruidoso Downs, and it happens in these little towns, is good old boy politics. And as the mayor said, we don't need to play those games. The mayor and Mr. Hargrove worked together for a number of years. They've known each other for a number of years. So there's some history. I don't see that history as having a bearing on the professionalism of these two men. But I think it needs to be brought up and put on the table. We don't have another candidate. This is what the mayor's brought up. And just in all fairness, I just want that to be out there. I don't, like I said, I don't see any problem from a professional standpoint. Let's get it clean.
Certainly. I'll address an answer to that if you'd like. Mark and I have known each other for a long time. When you're in law enforcement, you kind of end up knowing pretty much everybody at some point. He was my boss. Guess what? Right? I had brought him forward because of the level of professionalism that he and maturity that he has. I have full faith and confidence in his abilities. I'll see them. We are brothers more than friends. And if you're a first responder, you know what I'm saying. Not everybody gets it, but we have a camaraderie, but it is professional. He knows I'd die for him, he'd die for me. But that same feeling for every one of these gentlemen in the back. And they do as well. That's just kind of how first responders are. He also knows, as when I was his subordinate, I will fire his butt if I have to. And he told me more than once to do the same. So, yeah, we have a relationship, but it's a professional relationship. So that's my answer to it. Does that satisfy you? Right. Any other questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Counselor Lacewell. Aye. Counselor Guterres.
Aye.
Counselor Taylor.
Aye.
Counselor Proctor.
Aye.
Resolution.
On you.
Okay, so the next item is item D. Item D is approval to appoint city clerk treasurer. So there has been.
Sure. Can I move to, that we approve to appoint the city clerk treasurer?
Which I certainly can, thank you, yeah, thank you for stopping the meeting.
Second thought.
So we'll open it up for discussion. Ms. Chavez has been acting as our interim city clerk since the removal of the previous clerk. She and I had a conversation, and I think we had an understanding in that, as Mr. Taylor said, quoted me earlier, we're not doing that anymore. We've done that and it didn't work, and we tried it repeatedly and it didn't work. We need to have people that are not going to, for lack of a better term, dig themselves in like a tick. We need people that are going to work for us. I have faith in Ms. Chavez. The conversations we've had are professional. I see where she's coming from. A lot of respect for a young mother with 4 little girls, and I feel so sorry for your husband. Those 4 little girls are gonna be a nightmare. She's driven because she needs to be for the kids. And I have respect for that. Having raised kids and now grandkids, I get how hard it is, but I also get that keeps you centered as well. She's done an exceptional job for me so far. Everything I've asked has been Johnny on the spot. Even if I don't know I need it, she does and she gets it to me. As it stands right now, there's a lot of that. She has experience, she has knowledge. And I asked her, she was concerned initially about taking the position because it is an appointment. So I asked her, just go home and talk to your husband. You guys figure it out. Let me know, and we'll go from there. Took her a little while. I think you guys have probably had some pretty deep discussions, right? But she came forward and said, look, I'm willing to give it a try. So I like what I've seen so far. She knows my expectations. And so I would like to push her forward. Nominate her.
Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to comment. Having served for 4 years, 3.5 years under the former city commissioner. And comparing that to the level of professionalism and friendliness of Ms. Chavez, it's absolutely night and day. And I'm so impressed, Ms. Chavez, with your skills and with your rapport and the way you hold yourself. I am a little scared for your, it is an appointed position, and I hope that you're 20 years in this position. But thank you for everything you've done since.
A lot of people don't understand that, Selena Chavez was doing what she's doing right now. She was doing 85–90% of that when she was the deputy city clerk. Her hands were tied. She was fighting an uphill battle. And I would not look at anybody else being our city clerk. That's the reason we have a deputy chief police officer. We have a deputy clerk for the city council. We have a deputy public works, and hopefully soon we'll have a deputy chief over at the fire department. There's a reason there's a deputy in those offices. So when that chief is gone, then that person can step in and pick it up. This is what happened when we let go with the last city clerk. And it's only right that she took that position, and she's done one hell of a job since that position. Thank you very much. You're right.
Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
counselors, I just wanna say you made all the mothers cry. We're still fighting. Selena stepped up in a really critical point in time. She was an amazingly quick study, and she comes into this intuitively. And will probably be one of the finest clerks I've ever worked with as time goes on. I mean, it's pretty amazing to see somebody step up like that. And we've had conversations during the day, on the weekends. Sorry, I'm still. I know. And I can hear the kids in the background. And I relate, because I had 4 little kids. It's a good time. So. I just wanna let you know that she's awesome.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Maybe for clarification, if she's not approved tonight, she maintains this position until it's filled,
Until it's.
similar to what happened with the
Yes,
attorney. If, and then she'll retain her job as deputy clerk after that time.
Correct.
Are you comfortable with being in a wanted position that you could lose at the drop of a hat?
Mayor, members of council, after deliberating with my real boss. We know the risks involved. The title and the authority that comes with it does not get to me, so to speak, just to say it plainly. If it were to happen, I could work at Walmart, it would not bother me. It really does, as it's been said, I am the mother of 4 beautiful children. And I'll do anything, to ensure that they're taken care of. I came to Mayor Scott to confirm that I would be submitting my application, at least to have the chance to for the city clerk treasurer position. I've studied, I've looked over, I've nerded out on our original minutes, which by the way are October 9th, 1947. And I love what I do. I do. I came to this office, I originally was the finance clerk here. Having obtained my certification to do so, and I'm ready to swing the bat, ready to go with, as long as council and governing body shall have me.
Anything further?
Mayor,
This one.
so. I do have a couple questions, if you don't mind, Selena, giving us a recap of your resume for the people in the stands out there.
Yes, well, to blatantly state, I am young. So the listing of jobs isn't as lengthy as some of Mr. Hargrove recited, but for the last a little over 5 years, I have served the city as currently deputy clerk, interim clerk, assistant clerk for finances since November of 2020. When I came into the city, it was me, Mayor, and Donna, our HR. It was interesting. Times were tough trying to get operations taken care of, but we got it through. I did journey over and transfer into the clerk's office, to which I fell in love with the platform beautifully read our municipal code, needing revisions and repairs as we tried in the past. And then prior to that, I was I served at the First National Bank bank teller, full service branch assistant. Having that thorough knowledge, having to balance a ball up to $500,000 to more to set big sales with the feds. Prior to that, I did, was applied with, no longer incorporated, but GSV Title Services with title, search, filing of deeds, data entry, standard secretarial duties. All of which are needed for the clerk's office. The clerk is keeper of records, permanent, of all pretensions types and, demanding, I've held a lot of our original minutes from the city's, establishment in 1947. Since then, reviewed them, have not memorized all the locations of our records, but with due time, I feel like that all of that will be electronically available. And all of that needing to as well be issues for the clerk's office to have that maintenance of public trust, to have inquiries for records just readily available, having that transparency of allowing someone or individual who's needing a, report for an insurance claim that they just got, ransacked or stolen or whatever have you. So I feel like that background alone just has the enforcement to continue to have that successfully, adhere the clerk's duties. I'm here to serve.
So follow up to that, you have a very young family right now. Do you have support for your kids on a daily basis, being that the workload is as heavy as it is?
Yes, since the establishment of this office, the algorithm to the heavy load has already been identified. Having that delicate balance of all the duties that need to be adhered to per state statute. A lot of the work I do is bound by OMA and IPRA, which any other person here, the majority of a person would have their deadlines set up by supervisor. Mine are outlined through state statute, which has to be maintained. Throughout these 5 years, I believe that I've had a good grasp of those demands and having that balance with my family. And of course, with technology, having the abilities to remote in or to, maintain that schedule so nothing is left within the cracks.
Any other questions?
I have one more comment. You're coming into this from a tarnished position. Having to do with who held the position before you. And it's very likely that things that did not go appropriately in the past may come up in the future. And they'd be ready to address those. All of us may be addressing some of that. Coming into this, I ran for council because I knew things were bad. Further I've got into it, the more I realized just how bad it's like layers on an onion.
Make you wanna cry.
Make you wanna cry, but we gotta feel this damn thing and we got hard work. Even if we all get along and agree on things, we got a lot of hard work. We're gonna have our feet to the fire. And we go through these proceedings. I take it very seriously when if you get this position, Chief's got his position, Mrs. Winters with hers. I want to be confident that I can back y'all up 110%. That's the way I like to do things. When I put my trust in someone, I want that trust to, that alleviates a lot of the problems. It just clears the board and take care of your people. Cause this is serious work. And just for a little clarification too, I raised 2 daughters and have 4 granddaughters, got another on the way. So I'm in there with you. That's all.
And for, just real quick, I've heard comments from the new counselors. They didn't understand what the deputy city clerk went through working under the former city clerk. I will probably choke the hell out of somebody treating her like that. She did. She loved her family more than she did her job. And she stayed to help support that family. I give her kudos every time I think about what she went through and why she would even want to take it over. A lot of people assert her being with the old city clerk and then being buddies. That's the furthest thing from the truth. Okay, I don't want everybody to know that. You can't blame this one for what that one did. That was her boss.
Right.
That's gone. She's in the position to be the boss now, and I recommend that we.
No.
Counselor Dudex.
Aye.
Counselor Lacewell.
Aye.
Counselor Two.
Aye.
Counselor Torch.
Aye, twice.
Stop. Congratulations. The next item is E, resolution number 2026-01, the resolution determining reasonable notice for public meetings of the city of Ruidoso Down governing body, boards, commissions, and committees, and declaring the 2026 annual schedule of the governing body meetings.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve as stated, item E, resolution number 2026-01.
Do I have a second? Motion and a second.
The, looking over this, I've double checked it, triple checked it, and if I missed it, that's gonna be on me. But the dates coincide with the calendars. We only have 2 different meetings, this year. There's gonna be one on the Wednesday and one on the Thursday because of the conflict of meetings in here that, preclude us from having it on Tuesday. In case that we have to have it on Tuesday, and I don't think there's anything in there other than that, there are only those 2 areas that make a change. That with, it's good, standard, well, I mean, as far as I'm concerned.
Mayor, members of council, if you notice in your agenda, the second page as well, for the 2 unusual meetings, there will be having a notation of the next council meeting on each agenda. So that we're aware of the next one when it does arise. So that is a precautionary in case anyone has any schedule conflicts. So if after adjournment, that will also be added so that those 2 that do come up, they'll be, you should be notified, prior.
Clear.
I do.
Yes.
Section 10, Mary. As far as the postings. I believe it's only required to post on one.
Correct. Sure. On page 21, section boards.
Section.
It's okay.
Regarding the. How many places it needs to be posted.
It's required to be one.
Is it, maybe, state council from. This was you.
Mayor, generally, council, generally it's six places. There's one right here in county.
6 are identified, coming back from. The training we just came back from. it was stated that one is sufficient.
Okay, interesting. For beautification committee for planning and zoning with,
Right.
Under the Open Meetings Act is where the demand for the 6 public places within.
So I may have been my misunderstanding, but as far as I understood was that
Okay.
one
So
posting was,
is to burdensome to have six, is that the?
it may be for some of the board.
Okay.
Just, for I guess we don't always have access to all of these. City Hall bulletin boards, social media accounts. Some of them don't have social media accounts. I know in the past, we just kind of pass them along from one to another.
So can we post them on the city accounts? Would that be sufficient?
well, that's what it says, actually.
That's what it
It
says.
does say cities meeting,
Right.
so, so in mayor, councilor. Even if the act said 1 or 2, you can do more.
Right,
I'm pretty sure the act says 6.
okay.
And we just went through this a little bit, on an ordinance recently.
And with the boards solely, so each board and committee currently adopts their own Open Meetings Act resolution, which we have outlined. Is that sufficient to have that language in the committee who's meeting to only to have one?
I would keep it at 6, honestly.
I would say no, right? If the requirement is 6, keep it at 6, right?
Correct.
Right, because you can always go
More.
more, but not less.
You
Right.
can't do less.
Right. Yep, okay, later, sir.
And only 5 listed.
Is it legal?
Bulletin board outfit display, social media accounts. Post office, city's website.
Mayor, members of council, on the bulletin board, it is plural. We have 2.
Okay.
Yeah, we have 2, and we also, for extra measure, we have our marquee that we also publicize the meeting and the date and time
Right.
as well.
Well, it's all legal.
Stephanie?
Yeah, I have a question. I've only been in one other organizational meeting, but at that meeting,
Got one more than me.
at that meeting, the mayor actually named the boards, the commissions, and the individuals in each group.
So if you will give me just a little bit of time, I want to fill these boards. They haven't been done the way that I think they should have been. I've been getting letters. I've gotten a couple so far. Kind of like to put out, and now's a good time, I think, if you're interested in being on a board or a committee, please send me a letter. I think the more the merrier. And so I'd like to name them waivers. I can fill it out a little more if that's possible.
Thank you.
So that's kind of where I
I'm
was at.
sure I didn't miss.
So again, if you have time and would like to volunteer some of that to a committee or a whatever it's board. Continue.
When, Ashback, I did receive, the list that you had on file. This Lysol, it's not complete, coming from the beautification committee. The members that I recognized on my list were not what were on the mayor's list. So we're trying to fix that and update it. I myself have asked, the current members to reissue letters to so we can start from the things like forward to make sure that we have everybody on the books properly.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Counselor Taylor.
Aye.
Counselor. Aye. Counselor Davis. Aye. Counselor Proctor.
Aye.
Next item is F, resolution number 2026-02. A resolution authorizing signatures for the city of Ruidoso Downs accounts with all financial institutions within the surrounding areas of the municipality. And we will need to amend it to include the
Yeah.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, Mayor, members of council, the resolution just provides titles. So the resolution before you would have to be adopted as amended to reflect the newly elected Mayor Pro Tem as well as the clerk treasurer's name, because our current bank requires individuals' names for showing of for security purposes, we need names.
There was
I would like to move that we approve this resolution authorizing signatures for the city of Ruidoso Downs accounts with all financial institutions within the surrounding areas of the municipality, including that of the mayor, the clerk, and the mayor pro tem.
I'll second that.
And Mayor, just to clarify, Councilor Lacewell, you're including, the insertion of the names of.
You want specific names?
Yes.
All right, I would like to amend that to everything I just said, including Mayor Carol Scott, City Clerk Treasurer Selena Chavez, and Mayor Pro Tem Terrence Proctor. Thank you. I will second.
so. Open for discussion. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
We did discuss, I mean, we did, thank you. And I have nothing to say. No question.
Okay, roll call, please.
Counselor Duke-Davis. Counselor Taylor.
Aye.
Counselor Proctor.
Aye.
Counselor Laceworth.
Aye.
Next item is G, resolution number 2026-03, authorizing certain officials to execute car titles.
Mayor, members of council, this resolution also required the amendment to adopt resolution number 2026-03 to reflect the current Mayor Pro Tem's lead for purposes of the titles.
Does mine need to be added as well, or is it already?
Yours is inserted there. And it's the Mayor Pro Tem only on this resolution.
Mayor, I move to approve resolution 26.03 authorizing Mayor Carol Scott and Mayor Pro Tem Terrence Proctor to execute the park title.
Second.
Second.
Counselor Taylor second.
Any discussion?
No question.
Okay, roll call, please.
Counselor Taylor.
Aye.
Counselor Lacelow.
Aye.
Counselor Duke-Davis. Aye. Counselor Proctor.
Aye.
Okay. Item number 8, memorandum. We already did that. Next item is item 11, and it is a public hearing. I'd like to open it. I'll read it and then we'll open it up for discussion of the public. It is under item A, ordinance number 2025-08, an ordinance amending Title 3, Chapter 31, Section 31.02 D and H of the city code.
I'll make that motion, Mayor, to on the ordinance.
We're just opening for public discussion at this point.
Oh.
For public discussion.
Okay.
Public hearing. So any, Sarah, can you give the, basically what this is about is not briefing?
Mayor, members of council, members of the public. At the beginning of the room there's copies of the proposed draft for ordinance number 2025-08. We have the first attachment behind the public notice was the original language adopted in 2021, excuse me, 2001. And it is boxed in yellow. That provides language, that had been there 20+ years that there was a non-issue with. Minus the part where it says village, clerk, and then the trustees, and village attorney. And that starts on page 38. And then, yeah, 38, 39, 40. Draft number 1, which is lightly labeled, is a draft that consists of proposed amendments to letter D, which is for the agenda, and letter H, which just have minor order of business, proposed amendments. And that is on the right bottom corner. It's on page 41 through 45. The third proposed draft is draft number 2. It provides cleanup on page 46, just typographic edits and modifications, and to letter D for the agenda, and of course H, which outlines the order of business to include, as well as cleanup, but to move department reports on the last meeting of each month only for informational purposes, no presentations required. Item 6, which is item removed from consent agenda for deliberation. And then items 10 and 11, it just gives clear directions to the public on all agendas, what the items listed under new business are going to be for discussion and possible action. That way there isn't any confusion as to whether the items listed are for approval or not approval for both public hearings and new business. So if any public member had not known any procedural or parliamentary processes, they can read the agenda and know that if you're gonna have discussion and possible action.
So folks, most of you have probably been here enough that this is the amendment that was made at the last organizational meeting, I think, maybe, right, or soon thereafter?
2022 is when the amendment.
Okay. There was an amendment made that put basically the power of the agenda solely in the hands of the mayor. I don't think that's the way things should be done. I don't have an issue with trying to figure out a better way. So like the first one, I think, is the one that we've had forever and seemed to work. Of course, 25 years ago, there were trustees and I was younger, but I personally, I don't care whatever works for you guys. I just want to work together. Again, it's not us and them anymore. It's just us. So whatever works for you guys figure it out. So if you have any questions about it, now's your time to let us know. Feelings or your thoughts. Sure.
I know I'm not supposed to be talking right now, but
No, you are. You're
Yeah.
fine.
oh, Wayne Williams, you can hear me from here.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to say, look around. Prayers are already working. I think you're doing a good job. Now, hang in there. Thank you.
Anything else anybody'd like to say? If not, then we will close the public hearing section and open the counselors.
We have to do that while we Zoom.
Oh.
Do we have a way of seeing? Do we have a way of seeing?
They're able to hear you.
Okay, you don't have any comments?
Can they text in or?
Yes, they don't have any, they're all currently on mute, and I don't have any,
Well, I guess I can just address the
Yeah.
people that are online and not physically present. If you would like to join in the discussion, please let us know.
There are no responses, Mayor, from our online viewers.
Okay.
They go and attend.
So I guess we'll close that section at this point then, and we'll open it up for special discussion with the council. Mr. Clark.
I think we should go back to the one that was 2001-3. Some of the changes in there that amendments that can be brought forth. The number 2, the number 3 one. What happened back then is if we got too many items on the agenda that would drag out from 9, 10 o'clock at night, then before we approve the agenda, the counselor could bring forth point of order, take that and chop any of those off, putting the most important ones up for that night, and then the other ones will move to the next council meeting. So that gives us the power that we've been looking for. And not saying that the mayor cannot have influence over what's on the agenda, by putting his own agendas in and things. Sure. So I would suggest that we go with that, with the amendments, and as the city president explained, those amendments will.
So I've spent a lot of the last 2 years of my life dealing with this ordinance. And with the help of our city attorney, we came up with draft number 1. And the way that's worded under section letter D is very well worded. Then draft number 2 showed up at the last meeting that we haven't really had a vote on this. And then, of course, that original one is totally outdated. But my recommendation, councilors, is that we adopt the cleanup from draft number 2. That we adopt letter D from draft number 1. And then we adopt letter H from draft number 2. To me, that seems like the tidiest, well-written way to amend these ordinance.
What pages number is H on?
Well, I've got the PDF documents I can count the page numbers like we do. But I can open the PDF. Here's 50.
On the draft 2 for letter D. Or H, sorry.
So, Nicola, could you give me the correct numbers, on
Yes,
draft number 2,
yes.
where you've cleaned up the letters, for section 31?
Yep.
What page number is that?
Okay, for the cleanup in the titles, that's going to be found on page 46.
Okay.
Where it's just capitalizations. To the section list.
Okay, and on draft number 2, letter H.
Yes,
What page?
that page is going to be on 50.
Okay, and then on draft number 1, letter D, what page is that?
That page is on 42.
Okay, so then, counselors, you more clear. My recommendation is that we take the cleanup on page 46. Add to that letter D as written in draft number 1, and just put it 42. And then put in letter H from draft number 2, which is page 2. So. Yeah, so this letter D, and then go to page 50. That letter H. Plus the yes, there you go, just like that. And so that, well, we're not making a motion at this time, we're discussing. But to me, that's the most logical, the cleanest, the what I feel is the best way to amend this. Was the word much deeper.
I'm okay.
There, under the 2001 item 3, or, what they had back then, worked just fine. When they changed it in, I think it was 21 or 22, I'm not positive. It worked for those 20 some odd years. No incidents, no belly aching, no BS, right across the table. The wording needs to be changed, and that has already been discussed with the city clerk, what I'm bring forward and put in there. And change it to trustees, to council members, other things of this nature. And this is something that the city clerk could just run over with prior, the council being able to say anything about this. I think it is a better choice than item 1 and bringing in and something that worked in the past should work in the future. It's easy. We have control of the agenda. We have control of what we put on the agenda. More so than the item 1, item 2 bring forward on that. And we're still bringing those items forward and still getting what we want. I rest.
Councilor Proctor, have you laid that version with the yellow box on it next to page 42, letter D? They are very, very similar. The one that our attorney wrote up on letter D is more modernized language, takes out the words trustees or that, but the spirit of this is exactly what the other one is. The big problem we have with this one, with the yellow box, is the last sentence. Additional items may be added to the agenda by unanimous consent of the members of the governing body. Items cannot be added to an agenda. That's against the Open Meetings Act.
I understand that, okay? I just said those changes will be made to the city clerk. If that 20 or 2001 -3 were to be passed tonight, then that's what would be cleaned up. That would all be taken out. Just because there's one on the board now that's got all the language cleaned up does not necessarily make it the best. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to argue things like that. I'm not trying to get the horses back in the corral because they're not out. This is something that we've been pushing for. I didn't write it up. I just read it. And I liked what 2001-3 stood for, changing all the verbiage in there. You can bring something up for discussion only on the agenda, on an agenda, and no voting on it. But that's where, at the one time I mentioned to you, Councilor Lacewell, that they had lined out, and you had not seen that until I brought it to your attention, lined out.
That was
So, I read it there.
Any further discussion?
Yes, Chair. I agree with Ms. Lacewell, the additional items may be added to the agenda by unanimous consent of members in the governing body. I think there is a lot of issues with this old one, including verbiage, as Mr. Proctor stated. And I think I agree with most of with what Ms. Lacewell says on her adding H from number 2, from Gov 2 as well. I believe these things should be on our ordinance. I understand that this is the ordinance that everybody was mostly concerned about for the past few years. And I believe that that's the best way to move forward. The clerical stuff, it to me is trivial, it needs to happen anyways. I believe that's it, and I'd like the learning on both, so. We can move forward with it.
Council, how do we proceed from here if you've got different opinions?
Somebody has to make a motion to accept one version. take a vote on it. If it fails,
Against
Start
that
again.
version.
I got a question. Go ahead. In the yellow box here, that last line additional, I was reading that, added by unanimous consent, is that saying it can be done in the 5 days prior, or it can be done in the meeting?
It can't be done at the meeting.
That's against basic state law.
Okay, so
So that's assuming that's really not redundant, because we can add.
Mayor, at one time, you could put something up for discussion only, and it could be put on the next meeting coming up that you couldn't vote on. Now, I think the state, they had then changed that, if I'm not mistaken, to where you can't add anything to the agenda.
Right.
So
Okay,
that kills it.
and Mayor and Counselor, and I think, as Counselor Parker pointed out, it would come off. It's probably not legal sense.
But Ms. Winter, wouldn't you agree that the draft that you did earlier, draft number 1, letter D, is the best wording of letter D from this version?
that's
Or-
this one.
Mayor, Counselor, I assisted in all of them, so,
But not in the yellow box. one.
well, definitely not. And I'm just giving you a legal opinion there, both versions are legal. If one is better than the other, it's a policy call up to this body, and I'm not gonna give you an opinion on what your policy should be. This is, as the mayor pointed out, what you want.
So is it also true we have to close this private public hearing before we can make a motion?
we're in the,
Yeah, we're
out of the
close.
public hearing,
Please.
in the counselor's portion. So yes, I think we would need to close that and then
Make your
start
motion.
with motions, okay. So we, at this point, we're not done, okay, yes, sir.
Just one thing, city clerk, on item 1, you get the changes that would go into it,
Yes.
okay? And apparently no one else was listening to those changes, they're the same thing, it's just a few things in there different than what's written up on.
It's different from draft 1.
Draft 1. Just because you're looking at the old wording of draft 1 of the original 2001, that 3. You've got one now that's got cleaned up wording and verbiage in it, okay?
In draft 1, correct?
Right, in draft 1 and in draft 2. In the one that's back in 2001-3, that has not been cleaned up yet. This is what we have brought forward that the city clerk read a few minutes ago. It took about 5 minutes to explain that she was bringing all this stuff up that you're looking at right now on 1 and 2 to bring it up and put it on that one and clean all the verbiage up. So it makes it a lot simpler. You'll have more control over the council.
Are we voting on this tonight, or we're just voting on?
We have to vote on it tonight.
Well, how do we vote on something that gets cleaned up and
Well, we're gonna,
presented?
yeah, we're going to agree how we want it to be created. And then my proposal was take part of draft 2, part of draft 1, part of draft 2 to clean it up into a final version.
Okay, well, if there's some discrepancy after it's cleaned up, how to handle that?
We can address it again if there needs to be further,
Okay.
cleaning or whatever.
Okay.
Brought up again.
Well, I think excuse me, I think, Councilor, when it is printed out.
Mhm.
Everything that was said here from draft 1, that you have a copy of, and draft 2. All of that verbiage will be put in to the 2001-3. It will be cleaned up the next time you see it, for it to go into that. It's not something, you're not voting on something you haven't seen, you just heard it. You haven't seen it.
Okay.
So this is what the city clerk got through explaining a few minutes ago when she first started talking about it, bringing this forward, bring that forward, bringing everything forward that's already been discussed from the items.
Okay.
2001-3 is a lot simpler once the verbiage has been changed in there. And that's all it's looking at. And that verbiage is a trustee, We don't have a city manager, so stuff like that's going south.
Okay.
With. We asked Ms. Blacewell to list one more time. What her proposal is.
Yes, my proposal would be that we use page 48 on draft 2 for the cleanup of the capitalization and all that. Then use page 42 in draft 1 as the wording for letter D. And that's already, it's a modified version of the yellow box form. Then use page 50 for 131.02H on draft 2 as the revision of the letter H.
We have any further that we'd like to discuss or can we go with?
I think.
Very much.
Mayor, members of the council. Just to recap real quickly. The yellow box in the original version. And correct me if I'm wrong, is the same exact language, it's just in a different order.
Thank you.
By the mayor or any member of the governing body. That's the only difference. Items for placement on the agenda may be submitted by the mayor or any member of the governing body. That is the only sentence in the language given that is not provided in 2001-03. That's the only difference. So the 2001 version and draft 1 are similar. But that's the only sentence I could find that is different. And I think when Councilor Proctor saying this is in the same order, it just takes out that item for placement on the agenda, maybe submitted by the mayor or member of the governing body, because it was never an issue prior in 2001, so that wasn't provided.
I do have one more question. Yes, pointers. On item H, page 50. Number 10, each item will be discussed, will be listed. Each item listed will be for discussion and possible action. Will this tie us into having to take action?
Say that one more, where, what are you looking at? Oh,
Page 50,
Possible.
number 10.
Right.
it does say possible action.
Right,
This is
it does say possible, I just want to
Discussion.
clarify that it wouldn't tie us into having to take action.
No. So Mayor, Councilor, Robert's Rules of Order would, imposed at that point, you get postponed before. No, I mean, it's ultimately there's going to be an action.
Right.
Denied, approved, but also postponed. And it could be removed from the agenda. Oh. And it could be removed from the agenda.
Congratulations.
But wait, it's good.
Thank you. Cindy.
I got some praises. Man of my word. Like just think about who's in charge now.
When we had the reading. 25. It was, former Mayor Gary Williams questioned what was on the agenda about public hearing, possible action and approval. And that, we said you had to have that, then you have to have it separate. That's why we're here tonight doing this right here. So what that means is for the future, if we pass this, in the future, we can have a public meeting. The public meeting people will hear about it, then they will come before to have any comments. And that same night, we can discuss it and vote on it if we want to. That's what it's doing, you're making it. I just let people out there know that too. I risk, I ain't gonna talk no more.
Anyone else? Going once.
Okay.
Okay.
Due to closing the public hearing part for the councilors.
The discussion part, right?
Yes.
Right.
At that point, Mayor, I move that we,
I have to close it first.
I thought you just did.
I was about to. Just wanted to make sure we were golden before I actually closed it for further discussion. Okay, yes, ma'am.
Are we close? Mayor, I move that we change and adopt ordinance 3102 in such a manner that page 48 of draft number 2 and the cleanup listed there would be incorporated. That page 42 in draft number 1, letter D, would be incorporated. And that page 50 of draft number 2, letter H, would be incorporated. Yes.
But your motion, the cleanup is on page 46.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. That is a 6 and I have sloppy handwriting. Okay, I amend my motion to include page 46 of draft number 2 cleanup, page 42, draft number 1 for letter D, and page 50 of draft number 2, letter H, to be the amended ordinance at 3102.
Were it all in order? Got everything?
Mhm.
Okay, I have a second. Roll call him.
Counselor Taylor.
Aye.
Counselor Lacewell.
Aye.
Counselor Bucettis.
Aye.
Counselor Proctor.
No.
All right, one I've been looking for all night is the adjournment. There's no, this one's to get. Drum roll.
Congratulations. Your first meeting.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, man. Glad we got.
Brenda. Annie, how are you?
Well, see you.
You keep